which you have mentioned earlier, right? This is a books. This is a structure actually. In the main method, let me delete this factorial program. Let me delete the constructor as well. This is a main program which already we tried it, right, last week. Yeah. So suppose I want to store a single book information. Then how do you store? Like this you are storing, right? Okay. So Control Z, Control Z, Control Z is not working. Book dot. Okay, it is not coming up. Is it public? Public struct books. Okay. Why it is not, by default it's not coming as public. Surprising. Because if it is not a public, then it won't be visible actually. Okay. Okay. See, actually, what is a heap and what is a... Is everyone joined? Sagar? Sagar and Ryzen have not joined. Okay. See, so if you declare any variables within the local, okay, those are all are the stack variables. Stack. Suppose if I declare int val, so this is a stack variable. That means it is a stack memory. What is a stack? Oh, you know example like what is a stack?
Means memory used to store temporary data.
Yes, this is a stack. So it is simple like if you keep a one plate here and we'll keep another plate here and then we'll keep another plate. Like that we keep multiple plates here. Okay, but while out these plates. Which plate you have to take it out first? The first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after that you have to take out the. After that you have to take out the. Then so last in, first out. Last in, first out. Otherwise, first in, last out. So here also stack variable. If I declare, already I have explained this one, stack double value to see first memory will be assigned this one, and then this will be assigned, and after completing the execution of this method, the first this memory will be freed. That means this is the first integer, this is a double. So while clearing the memory, the last one will clear first. So double will clear first, and then this will clear. So this is called a stacking. But if you use a keyword called new, then it is a heap. So this is a heap memory. So these are the stack memory, and this is a heap memory. Okay. So if you do this, so if you do the memory allocation by using a new keyword, then this memory has to be freed by using delete. Okay, so by using a delete keyword, we have to free the memory. Then in case of a C++, so in case of a C++, so new is the keyword for allocating memory. Delete is the keyword which we use for freeing the memory. Memory for use. Okay. In case of a C++, we use a new is the keyword for allocating the memory, like C#, and delete is the keyword which we use for freeing the memory. So compulsorily you have to use it. So if you don't use the delete keyword, then there is a memory leak. That means, what is meant by memory leak? Any idea? Okay, data leak, any idea? So I think in recent days we are hearing data leak. So here it's a memory leak. Okay, memory leak means this memory is allocated, but it is never used. It is used but never freed. So in a server missions, usually we don't restart every time. Okay, server missions we don't restart every time. So if you are running our tools in the server, then if you allocate a memory, it is our responsibility to free it. So if we don't free it, so if that application is running for a 10,000 times or 1 lakh time, then because you are not used the delete, you are not deleted the memory, then what will happen? The memory which is allocated by new will accumulate, keep on accumulate it, and at last your server will run slowly, and then it will crash. Your server will crash, because of there is no memory, your server completely stops working. So it is our responsibility to use delete for freeing the memory in case of a C++. Okay, but in case of a C programming, we have malloc and realloc, calloc. Okay, these are the three different mechanisms to allocate the memory. And how would you free that memory? By using a free. So why I am explaining all these things? Because see, at present you may be working in the C# project, but there may be legacy projects which might have developed in C or C++. So you can't say that I don't know C, I don't know C++. Okay, so you have to work. You cannot say that I don't know that programming, I don't know this programming. Whichever programming language comes to you, you have to work. You have to spend time and you have to work. Okay, even a training also, like 11 years back, I started in the C. Then we used to move to a C#. But nowadays, people feeling a difficulty in this C++, so that's why I'm straight away moving to this C#.net. Okay, so these all are the interview questions. So when somebody asks, have you worked in the C++? You can say that, yes, I did one project. You can say. So if somebody asks, do you know C programming? Yes, I know. And in C programming, how you allocate memory? If they ask, you tell that malloc, realloc, calloc. And how do you free memory? By using a free. So in case of a C++, new and delete. What about this C#? We are allocating the memory by using all these are the heap only. All these different memory allocation for any variable or any data type is heap only, because heap is a separate memory which will not free on its own. We have to free it. But in case of a C#, so how do you free it? Any doubt so far? So I hope you are making a note of all these things, whatever I am discussing in the class. So you have to take the learning notes as well. Yeah, notes, any doubt?
Yeah, in Heap, how we free the memory means by using delete keyword or
Which language?
C#.
Yeah. So there is a garbage collector will be there. Okay. So in case of a, okay, let me show you so that. So how do you free the memory in C#.net? Okay. So in C#, you generally do not free the memory manually, the way you would do in C++. Memory is managed by garbage collector, which automatically reclaims memory from objects that are no longer in use. Okay, so this statement is very important, which you need to remember. So that particular statement is very key in the interview questions. If somebody asks in the interview questions, okay, so you have to answer it. So the memory will be freed by using a garbage collector GC. So this GC, when it will do that, it will do only once it completes entire application. So heap memory like this C#.NET garbage collector will collect all the memory which you have allocated by using a new keywords, and it will free at the end. It will free at the end. But stack variables, it will not free at the end. Immediately once you clear this, it will clear that. Clear or any doubts?
So in stack, how it clears?
Yeah, it will automatically. Once it goes out of
Okay.
scope. So once it goes out of scope.
Means how it decides whether it
Yeah,
goes
so
out of
this
scope.
method, suppose if you have declared the variable inside this method, then once this method closes, like braces have opened, braces have closed. So once it is closed, once the execution of this method is done, then immediately it will free the memory, which one, last one, wherever the memory got allocated, it will free the first this one and then second this one, like that it will go. So once it goes out of scope means this is the scope when you keep the bracket.
Okay.
You can also check it out in the WhatsApp or sorry ChatGPT, like how the stack memory will be free. Okay. Suppose for example we'll ask stack memory how it will be freed in C#.NET. Okay. Local variables of value type, int, double, bool, struct, etc. are reference to objects. When a method is called, CLR creates stack frame for the method. So it is creating stack frame. Okay. So stack contains, this is how it will store in the memory. Okay. So stack contains something like this kind of thing will be stored. And when is stack memory is free, as soon as method returns its entire stack frame, it will be removed. So this stack frame will be created when you are calling any method. Suppose this method is calling somewhere, then when you are calling that method, immediately stack frame is getting created. Okay, and once this method returns this value, then immediately that stack frame getting read. Entire stack is removed. This is the concept behind the screen. Behind the screen, what is happening? Okay, and how? So the memory is immediately available to. There is no garbage collection. So that's why there is no garbage collector in the stack. Only for the heap only it will use the garbage collector. So what about the reference type? Reference types means wherever you allocate the memory by using a new keyword. These are the reference types. Okay, so explained in our first in, first out before. Okay, so you just go through it. Okay.
So when we rerun the programming, then again it will allocate the memory, and when the value return, so it will clear it off in stack.
Yes.
Okay.
So in heap also, see, in heap also it does this same thing, but what happens is when your entire, suppose this method is calling within this program 100 times. Okay, 100 times it is calling. So 100 times this memory, each and every time whenever this method is called, every time it will allocate the memory, and by end of this it will free the memory. 100 times it will repeat the same process. It will allocate the memory, and here it will free the memory. But in case of a heap, when you do this, it will accumulate it. Suppose this method is called something like 100 times. This will accumulate. Only at the end it will free it. Once entire this application is freed, then it will free. Once the execution of this entire application completes, then it will be freed. Okay, and you can also go through it. Okay, see, everything interviewer might not ask. Okay, but it is our responsibility to know the background also, what is happening in the backend, so that you will manage in a better way. Like, see, sometimes I will create a multiple variables, but I won't utilize it. It is our response. If it is not being utilized, if you see any errors or warnings, if you see something like this, see, these are the warnings. So if you see any warnings, it is your responsibility to clear the warnings. Your program should not have any warning, even a single warning at the end of your whenever you are giving this program, or whenever you are committing this program by using it or whatever. So you should free of all warnings, all errors. Of course, without errors you cannot execute the program, but with warnings you can execute the program. So that's why your responsibility to free all the warnings also. So unnecessary variables has to be removed, and whatever the warnings it will display here should be always 0, 0, 0. Okay, so any doubts? Alan?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, so already we have seen an arrays. Okay, already we have seen arrays. So this is a structure and we are storing. So it is obviously, if we want to store a 10 books data, then 10 books data you have to allocate the memory. Okay, so 10 books data you have to allocate the memory. So for that you have to take an array. So how many books you want to store the data, you can store. But if you don't know how many books to store it, then I will tell you in a later stage how to use a instant dictionary. So this program again, of course, every program we are going to use it in the NX Open. This also we are going to store it in NX Open. So how we are going to store is, suppose in the NX you people might know atom, okay, atom coordinate system. So to store the atom coordinate system information, we can use this structure. We can use. Okay. So same thing you can use as a class also. It is up to you. But I prefer whenever you are storing some data and retrieving it, I use a structure. But you can use anything. Actually, with respect to the website developments and all, this data will be stored in the EBA, like a database, like SQL, Oracle. Okay, using that, it will store the data in the Oracle database. So whenever we get a data, we directly push this data into the database, and whenever you want to retrieve the data, you can get the data by using SQL queries. Of course, here also in C# also we have a queries that we will see it in later. Okay, so but all these are our NX open and all, mostly we get that data, we utilize it, we'll delete it, or we'll write that information in the JSON format or text format in case if the data is required. Okay, so how we will store it? We use an arrays. So you can write a for loop. Okay, you can write a for loop, and this book dot length. Okay, so this book of I dot author. How do you get the author? Console dot read line, console dot read line. Then okay, so we'll write it here. So I am getting it directly from the screen. Before the reading, user should know. So you have to write console dot write line, enter. Okay, enter book author. So like that we have to prompt the user. We have to prompt the user what data he has to enter. Okay, and if it is after that, after the author, what else are there? Subject, then title, then book ID, right? Book ID. If it is a book ID is integer, then we need to convert. Okay, so wherever conversion is required, you can do that. Okay, as of now I'm just commenting it out, but you can do that. Okay, this book is coming, that's fine. So subject and title, okay, so like that you can store it. See, so now for you I will debug it. Debug, start debugging. So it is coming execution here. So F10, 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 F10. So it will expecting entire book author. Okay, I'm just putting cut. So now you can see the author, right? So for this book it is allocated memory of 10. is allocated memory for the 10 books. For each book, you can see author, book ID, subject, title. So as of now, I filled only author. So you have to fill subject and title also. Okay. So I cannot execute all the things, but I will subject. Okay. And next, open. And then it is executing here. And then title, C#. Okay. So now I have entered one author data. There are 10 authors are there, but first author I have entered the data. Book ID I am not taking it because I need to convert that string into an integer. You guys know how to convert it. So you convert it and you do it. Okay, like this you here I am getting it from the user, but in our NX open we may get it from the text file, or we may get it from the NX art file. This data we might get it in the art file. Okay, so before coming on Tuesday, you try to create the books, and I want to store the 10 books and store that data in the by using allo. And this data can be printed again. This data can be retrieved the data and we can print it. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Nala?
No, sir. Sir?
Any doubts?
No, sir.
Are you able to write all the assignments which I gave you?
Yes, sir.
Can you write on Tuesday?
Okay, sir. I will.
Yeah, and what else you want to know? Lecture, anything you want to know?